Hi, yeah, so this is also being recorded. This is the Empath Misconception, and I'm Catherine Bird, so welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm super excited to be here. I am coming at you today from London, England, and in the midst of a very long journey for myself, a journey I've been on since October. I have been home free and have been traveling and all over the States, and now in England, and Tuesday I go to Italy, and then I'll be in Sweden, and then parts unknown. So, I think that one thing is that this is important because I am super sensitive, and it definitely is interesting to witness myself and my process and my practices as I go through all of this travel and being around a lot of people and a lot of tourists and everything. So I'm very grateful for the practices that I have and the different awarenesses that I have. I don't know that I could be really doing these things if I didn't. So, but let's get started on the empath misconception. I'm so super excited about this topic. I think it's really important. I hope that you do too, and otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? But I think that it's really important for us to be talking about what it means to be an empath. And, we could be called, sorry, I hit the wrong button. There we go. we could be calling this how to thrive as a sensitive soul, and moving from overwhelm and fear and anger and grief and shame and all of these collective energies that we have running inside of us, and moving more toward peace and joy and creativity and calm presence. Yes, right? That's what we want. And, if we are doing those things, then, gosh, what is going on? I guess when I hit this button, it's actually I need to hit this button. Okay, great. I think I have it figured out now. And so, if we are in that space, then we get to do our work. We get to have better relationships. We get to have a bigger impact on the planet. We get to, take on more clients. We get to be seen more, be on stages more, have more friendships, go out more, be in the world, humaning more often and at a higher level. So I think that this is really important. And I want you to make sure that you go ahead and stick around to the very end. I'm gonna have an offer for you guys and be sharing something that I've been working on. And then also there's gonna be some bonuses involved and some things that I don't usually offer, except for on this specific webinar. So if you're here live, you're gonna have an opportunity to receive something great. And just requesting your presence, that you tune in, maybe shut down the other screens that you're looking at, and just pay attention. We're only going to be here, another 50 minutes or so. So, the more that you can just pay attention and integrate the information that I'm offering you, and then that way we can have a good conversation about it, and we can drop in together. So let's just kind of drop in here around if any of these things sound familiar. I can't handle being around people. I feel too much. I can't do my work in the world. It drains me. It takes me out. Toxic people are just attracted to me. I can't get away from them. I don't know what's mine and what is theirs. I feel like shit and I need to hide. Anybody have these? Maybe not today, but enough to go, okay, somebody's raising their hand, enough to go, yeah, okay, I got that one. And maybe it's not every day, but it's enough to go, that is having an effect on me. And yeah, some of us are like, yeah, that's where I have been. And we go through different cycles and phases, and hopefully we'll all be finding ourselves in the easeful space. So maybe you are awakening and you're realizing that you have these healing and spiritual gifts, and I'm just becoming more sensitive. Yeah. This happens, we start to awaken, things start coming online, we start having abilities and being able to tap in and tune into people really deeply. And all of a sudden, oh my gosh, really? I am that guy? I'm that sensitive guy? Anybody else got that? Anybody like, whoosh, yeah. I thought that starting to like be a healer and help people was, I didn't realize it was going to mess me up so bad. I didn't realize I was going to become so sensitive. Or I feel like I'm just processing a lot of emotions and energies and I want a better way. And I'll tell you, this recent eclipse portal and the whole thing, and everything that's going on in our government and our society and the world, there's a lot of stuff going on, and people like us are processing a lot of energy, a lot of emotions. Anybody have that where you're just like, whoa, I don't know exactly what's going on, but this is freaking intense around here in my house, in my home, inside my body. Or maybe I am committed to learning how to master my energetics emotions to the next level and serve big. And I have important work to do in the world, and it cannot wait. So it's not just about me, it's about, I've been called to do this work. And I know that I am sensitive for a reason. I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but wow, how do I manage running a business and having a family and feeling so sensitive and working with clients and all of these things? Or maybe you're here because I'm committed to learning how to support my community and my family and my clients to the next level. Because some of us have kind of, worked on ourselves and then gotten to a certain point, but now we realize that, wow, I really need a few more tools to help my clients so that they can understand their sensitivities and things. Anybody else have that one? Who's that one? Great. Thanks, Cinema. Thanks, Jessica. Okay, and you were ready to take action and live on purpose. Okay, great. You're in the right place. You got it going on. Here we are together. Glad to have you. We're all super sensitive. Okay, so if you don't know me, if you haven't worked with me before, if you haven't studied with me, I'm Catherine Bird, and I am a shamanic practitioner and a Chinese energetic medicine practitioner. I'm a coach, I'm a healer, and I train and mentor healers, coaches, channels, shamans, empaths, entrepreneurs, leaders, all kinds of people. And I support people as they're going through spiritual awakenings and cultivating these different skills and gifts and helping people bring their magic to the world. And so why am I doing this? Well, okay, so the truth is that really I suffered for a very long time. Anxiety, depression. I was diagnosed when I was a teenager and put on medications, and I was put on medication, different medication. I spent a lot of time self-medicating myself with drugs and alcohol and all kinds of things just to try to deal with my own fears and insecurities and doubt and shame and just everything that I had going on. And then being medicated, I was then like parts of me were very shut down. So then I was also trying to feel things too. So it was this interesting experience of feeling both shut down and unable to handle anything that was going on in my life. So I didn't actually find that I was able to handle things more when I was medicated. I just found that I wasn't feeling positive emotions as much as I could have been. So I was trying to cultivate positive emotions in my life through negative patterns. So anybody done that yet? Maybe in the past, I'm like, okay, let me try to figure this out. So I stopped taking medication. I got this very clear message to stop doing that. And actually things got worse. Things got way worse for me. and way better at the same time, because at that point I started to have this super intense spiritual awakening, and I was processing all of this repressed emotions and energy from the time, like all of this time since I was 15 and I had been on medication, all of the things I had stuffed down and held back, I was processing all of those. Plus I was having visions and past life things, and I was channeling and having all of these energetic awakenings and kriyas and kundalini, and all this stuff was going on. And for a period of time, I could barely go out in public. Anybody had the experience of just being like, wow, I can't leave this room. Like this is just, I'm safe here, but going to the grocery, going to a party, right? My partner would want me to go to parties or festivals or different things, and it was not working, right? It was not good. I couldn't go to like the yoga studio or to festivals or whatever. Like if there was an experience where we were going to have to hold hands, like if they were going to put us in a circle, I was done for, because I would completely not be able to handle. I would start speaking in tongues and feeling all the energy and emotions and everything else. Like if people would come up to me at a art gallery or something and they'd come up and like, hey, and want to touch me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? So I was so sensitive. I was so overwhelmed. I didn't really know what to do, but I knew that I had to master my energy and emotions, and I had to train and study and develop. And through that process, I turned these curses into gifts. And so, can you imagine like this ability to feel peace and well-being on a more consistent basis, right? That's all we really want, peace and well-being on a consistent basis, and understanding how to process whatever is coming up, to have powerful tools at a moment's notice and be able to handle the work and the world, and also just to support others, right? I know if someone is an empath, if that is their, who they are, like there's always that core essence of service that is running through it. And it's really hard on a person when their soul calling and their essence is saying, I want to serve, and I want to serve big, and I want to help people. And then there's this part that's like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if I can handle that stuff, really. So anybody had that experience at all? Yeah, great, you guys. Thanks for raising your hands. You're amazing. All right, so let's drop in about the empath misconception, and what are the false beliefs that keep us stuck as empaths, and then what are the tools that we actually need to not just survive but thrive. And I work with empaths. I've always worked with empaths. I have a channeling course, I have a healing, a healership course, and then I do mentorship. And of course, if someone is interested in channeling, in shamanism, in healing work, they're an empath. It's just part of the deal. But this is the first time that I've really put a strong focus on calling out empath as the headboard of something that I'm discussing. And it's because I've seen so many things out there in the empath communities and the message boards and the Facebook groups that are not serving the people. And it's just this loop of stuff that's going on. So let's talk about this stuff a little bit. So number one, I need to shield, protect, blame, and stay away. Okay, so how many times, I don't know, is anybody here part of one of the like Facebook empath groups? And whenever you see the posts come up, it's like always about, well, how can I protect myself from these people? How can I, how can I blame the person that I'm in relationship with, because obviously they're a narcissist, and so how can I blame everybody else for the experience? Oh no, you guys not seeing all these slides? Really? You should be seeing misconception number 1, I need to shield, protect, blame, and stay away. Were you not seeing all the slides? You guys, tell me. Oh no, how did that happen? Oh my gosh, all the slides are so cute. Oh my goodness. Really? Oh no. Okay, so this is the back, right? This is this one. Okay, well, what was I? You guys weren't even, you guys were, you guys. So are you seeing them move through now? Oh my gosh. Okay. So here we go. We're just, remember all the stuff I just talked about? Here's all the beautiful slides. Look, there I am. I'm so amazing. Okay, here we go. There I am. Look, I'm so upset. You have to see this part. Okay. All right, so there I am again. All right, so I have put all this work in this. If you guys don't see the slides, I'm gonna be super upset. Okay, so here's our empath misconception, the main deal. And here is number 1, which is shield, protect, blame, and stay away. And has anybody seen this stuff that's out there that's like, thank you for letting me know that my slides weren't working. That would have been a bummer if I'd made it all the way through and you hadn't seen these 66 slides I worked on. Okay, so shield, protect, blame, and stay away. This is like the mantra of the Facebook empath group, for sure. So let's talk about these one at a time. Let's talk about shielding, okay? So shields are only as good as your inner life force can stabilize them. And most people don't realize that. So you're trying, if your life force and your field is not strong, if you are all gummed up with repressed energies and emotions, it isn't going to do you any good, because the protective field is very easily distracted and collapsed. So it's, and if it's coming from, if it's being built from a lower level frequency energy. So if you're orientating from a place of fear or lack, so basically I need a shield because I can't handle the world, and that's the story that's running underneath everything. It's coming from a fear-based place. So that actually lowers the vital energy and the life force, which creates this loop and a feedback of lower energy and then a need to shield, and lower energy and a need to shield, and lower energy and need to shield. And it's also just plain exhausting, because it's not coming from a place that's fully empowered. It's not coming from a place where the energy is actually at a purified enough state that it is naturally expanded. It's a naturally protective, not because you need to, you need to, right? It's not coming from a place of, I can't handle this thing, and so I need to shield myself. It's coming from a place of, I just am. I am that light. I am that strong. I am that courageous in the world. And that is everything that I need. So it's coming from, it's a shift in a mindset shift of where is it coming from? What's the belief? What's the inner story? What's the energy that's behind the desire to do this? And what is going on there? What is really the piece that's coming in of the need to shield? Has anybody else found that shielding practices and things like that idea of, I'm just going to like shield and block things and people, like that's kind of an exhausting pattern to get into? Okay, great. I got a lot of raised hands here. So great. Okay, so let's talk about protection. So this is something I really want you guys to get into here, is trying to protect ourselves from negativity. We are protecting what we actually want to change, which is ourselves. So what we are here to do is to actually become more of our spiritualized essence. It is to become a higher state of being. It is to actually kill and destroy, in some ways, the parts of us that are not in alignment with that higher essence force energy. And if we are trying to protect ourselves, what we are generally trying to protect is the part of us that does not want to be killed, that does not want to be destroyed, it does not want to be looked at, it does not want to be poked and prodded and brought into the light. It is the part of us that actually is, you know, in alignment with fear and shame and doubt and worry and contraction and ego and, you know, whatever that is. We're trying to protect ourselves from something outside of us actually getting in deep enough to change us. And so it's really hard to be on a spiritual path and doing spiritual work and trying to become spiritually evolved while we're trying to protect the thing that we're trying to evolve and kill within ourselves. Does this make sense? Do you guys get this? Right. And it's just saying like that shielding is coming from empowerment at first. And then you realize, oh, great, it was fear. So tell me what you guys are thinking about this. So when we're doing this, we're sometimes it's because we're looking for protection from the outside, right? Instead of growing it from the inside. And, you know, we're trying to protect our ego. We're trying to protect the aspects of ourselves that actually need to change. We're trying to protect ourselves from becoming more evolved. We're trying to protect ourselves from understanding ourselves more deeply. And that's why when the other person comes into our field, and you'll hear on the empath group, right? Okay, then I'm in this relationship and this person is toxic and this person's a narcissist. Now, why am I always attracted to the narcissist? Why are narcissists attracted to me? Why aren't I attracting nice whoever empaths? Why? And always it's, you need to run away and you need to do this and you need to do that. But the truth is, why is that person showing up again? You have another person, the same person is showing up again and again in your life. Like, you're the consistent reality here. What is it that is this person mirroring to you that you need to change? Whether it's your boundaries, being able to say no, standing up for yourself, owning your value and your worth, speaking your truth, whatever it is. Like, there's stuff that's there, there's something there, yet we often look at these things in a very disempowering way so that we can just, you know, what can I protect myself from these other energies? So, you know, I want to talk about this, is that we are often looking outside of ourselves for protection from, instead of growing it within. Now, this has been something that I've been sitting with for years. Because, you know, I teach protection, absolutely. You know, I teach an open your channel or healer's process, and, you know, working with other energies and beings and stuff like that, right? Or working with Archangel Michael. But the truth of what's happening there, and must be known and must be in the consciousness when we're doing that kind of work of calling in these other energies to support us, as in calling in the blue flame of protection, I'm calling in Archangel Michael and all of these things, right? Is that even when we are calling in that way, what it is really do is training ourselves to that frequency, to be that, so that you know, that what we are. So we are that. We are training ourselves to understand the frequency, to cultivate it within ourselves, to cultivate it within our own body and our own field, to be that. If the protection is coming from outside, then it's different energy. Then I am cultivating a relationship with the energy of protection so that I am that. I am that. There's a beautiful Portuguese prayer to Archangel Michael. And at the end of the prayer, it says, I am your love that protects me here. It is not you are protecting me here. I am the love that protects me here. I am the love that protects me here. It is not about the outside frequency that's protecting us. It is about our relationship with that energy, cultivating it and being it, right? All right, good. It's starting to make sense. Great. I love this. So let's talk about blaming this and blame. And I'm so sick of this. Are you guys sick of this bullshit that I see every day, that everyone's toxic, everyone else has a personality disorder? I'm sorry, there really are not that many narcissists out there that every single empath is in a relationship with 10 different narcissists. This like, oh my gosh. Because within that, we don't have to be responsible. If everybody else in my world, if everybody else in my reality has a personality disorder and I'm the poor sensitive empath, I get to just wander around the world without being responsible for my experience. And I get to just, wait for people to come into my life and they're going to shit on me. And then I can blame them and feel sad and be, poor, woe is me. It's happened again. And this is just my luck. And, all of these things, I get to blame the world. I get to blame other people for my experience instead of doing the tough, really tough inner work, you guys, of looking at myself enough and looking at my patterns and looking at what I'm holding on to and shifting the parts of me that are in alignment with this reality. Because there's something within us that is cultivating these experiences. And that's not to say that we're blaming victims for having things happen to them. Everybody has bad things happening to them, and bad things should not happen to people, but they obviously do. But when it becomes this pattern and this thing that happens over and over and over again, there's something there to be learned. Yeah? Anybody got this? Like, whoa. Yeah. There's a lot of blaming out there, you guys. So let's talk about staying away. All right. So we've tried to shield. That was exhausting. And we started calling on all this protection and all these other energies. And we're coming from this fear place. And then we start blaming other people. And we're just like, why are you such a shit? And why do you have all these problems? And why are you so horrible? And then we're just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to stay away. I'm going to stay in my little cottage and I'm going to work on my little projects over here and I'm going to be fine, right? Only the problem is, we can't really just run away from the world because most of us that are here to serve the world. It's really fucking hard to serve the world and never engage with it. Yeah, it is definitely easier for us to blame other people and to see other people's issues, right? So much easier for us to look at others than it is to look at ourselves. And we're all in that process of hopefully going, okay, how can I take more responsibility for my actions, my words, my thoughts, my experience on this planet? Whew. And this is part of it, because even if we run away from the world, we can't run away from ourselves. And the stuff is still going to be there. It's still going to be part of who we are. The underlying issues, the underlying energetics, the underlying emotions, which we're going to talk about in just a second, are still going to be there, even if we run away from the world. And then, come back next life and have to be born into a family of 12 people and deal with it in that way, or whatever it is. You can't fully run away. All right. So do you guys understand? That was a lot. So there was the blaming and the protection. Did you get that one? Is this helpful? Do we get some yeses if this is helpful to be breaking it down like this? Great. Awesome. You guys are great. Okay. So let's talk about this one, which is a big one, that there's nothing I can do about my sensitivities and they are just a curse. And I'll tell you, I've been there. I know I have a lot of clients who come in and they're just like weeping with this being the reality of the day. And it's okay if this has been your reality from time to time, or even if you're in this right now. But this is kind of where our go-to, right? We as humans are just like, woe is me. Nothing can be done. Nothing can be changed. We do that about everything. I did that about the fact that I couldn't find any DM lights for my webinar. But we do this, right? There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. Well, bullshit, right? Because they're a gift, but we have to learn through them. And that's why they're so challenging, because they're supposed to turn into something that's amazing and magical and supportive and helpful. But it's going through the process of learning about them and growing through them that changes us as humans, that makes us compassionate, that makes us able to be present with others 100%, that helps us to understand ourselves, our wounds, our fears, where we came from, our family history, our everything that's been piled upon us. It helps us to process all of this stuff. If we were just, if we didn't have any problems with these things, if we didn't have any troubles, we wouldn't work on ourselves, because we don't. If our arm doesn't hurt, we rarely think about doing some sort of like special PT exercise to make our arm better, because we don't fix things that aren't broken. We don't look at things that aren't calling our attention. Hey, me over here, something's going on. And the thing is that we have to do is we have to change our resonance. We have to change ourselves, and then our relationship with these experiences and these gifts will change. So let's see. I just want to make sure that I didn't have any notes on that one. I want to make sure you guys are seeing the right thing. All right, here we go. Misconception number 2. So let's talk about energy and how many of us were trained to be empaths here. But we just have a comment here from Zoe that it's confronting to think we are big enough and powerful enough to be the source of it all. It can feel like hubris to claim, I am that, I am love, I am protection, I am a power, as opposed to it coming from outside of ourselves. The same for our issues. If we are big enough to contain it all, then huge freedom and responsibility. That's beautiful, Zoe. I love that. Copy paste that. Put that on Facebook. So let's talk about the training ground of the empath, shall we? Here, let's get real. Let's get serious about where we actually came from, most of us. All right. So dysfunctional families are the training ground for the empath, because as a small child, it was necessary for us to track emotions and energy to stay safe. If we can diffuse situations, if we can stay out of the way, then we're going to be okay. So we can understand that the minute that the car door slams when mom or dad gets home, we're tracking and we're aware and we're conscious. What are they feeling? How is their day at work? What's going on next? What's going on with the bills? What's going on with, with mom? What's happening with my brother? And is he pissing off mom and dad? And why is the dog sick? And, we're tracking everything from the time we're babies. And we're learning that if we can track it, if we can figure out, okay, I'm going to be the funny one who is going to diffuse the situations. I'm going to be the smart one so that I have things to talk about at dinner so that I can get mom and dad to stop talking to each other. I'm going to be the, whatever that it is that was your coping mechanism. I'm going to go hide out in my room. I'm going to go build a fort. I'm going to go and play an instrument or do some artwork, something that my parents like me doing, and I'm going to sketch out and save myself from the highly uncomfortable emotional reality of my parents, or I'm going to stick in there and I'm going to try to solve their problems because that's what I was born to do. I was born to solve my parents' problems and make them feel better. So if I could just please save my parents or my parent and make them feel something that they're not feeling, that would mean my life has worth. That means that I am important, and that means that I'm doing my life's work in that moment, right? And that's what we're believing as a child. I was born to do this. Obviously, my parents are total fuck-ups. I need to help them. Right? That's how we can feel safe. That's how we can know our place in the world. And so what we're also doing and learning how to do is to actually transmute the energy within our bodies. And we develop portals in our bodies. And I go really deep into this. I'll talk about it a little bit later. But in my energetic mastery portaling class, I go deep into how we start to portal, create energy centers in our body, usually in alignment with our chakra system, that is pulling and sucking energy and emotions out of the room, out of the space, out of our parents, and etc., out of our classrooms, wherever, and we're bringing it into our bodies, and then we're trying to transmute it and process it and move it through our tiny little systems, and that's how we set up our lives, and that becomes our process for the rest of our life. And it might be that that's the place where we become sick really often, we have weird illnesses, we have injuries, all of these different things we can start to look at in our lives of how we started to transmute and process that energy. And hey, it actually comes in handy later in life, because as a healer, it can be really helpful to be able to suck all of the energy out of a room when people are doing medicine ceremony, or when somebody comes to you for a session and you're just able to be present with them and then all of a sudden they feel better. But it's not helpful when it takes you 5 days to recover from that ceremony, or it takes you 2 days to recover from a client session, because you've basically taken it upon yourself to process all of their energy, emotions, fear, etc., etc. Has anybody like guilty of this one? Anybody got this in their life? Yeah. Okay. I'll just eat all these emotions and energy with a spoon, and then I'll think that they're mine, and I'll become depressed and anxious and angry and overwhelmed with the world, right? Because it's hard when something's already in you to dissociate that it's yours. Whew. So we become highly skilled, right? But just like all of the other protective mechanisms that we learned in childhood, they turn on us, and they become these deranged aspects of self, which actually create distance from others. And also, of course, overwhelm, fatigue, confusion. So we start to suffer, and we don't know why we're suffering. We just know somehow we've always been the one that's suffering. And it's really hard to understand where this is coming from. But because we've set it so solidly, we've got the pattern so strong in our system that it's hard to disconnect from the pattern. And of course, the first step here is understanding where that pattern comes from, starting to track it in yourself, starting to see where it's showing up now, starting to understand what was going on in your family and what you were trying, what was your part? So I want you to really think about that. Like, what was the part that I was playing in the experiences of my family? Anybody got anything? Yeah, the physician. So is that just like, let me heal everyone? Let me heal everyone's problems. Let me take care of everybody. I'm going to be doing some psychic surgery over here while I'm eating my Cheerios in the morning. Yeah, let me just take care of everybody in the family. And this doesn't, oftentimes, it's not just the parents, right? Usually there's one person in the family who kind of takes care of everybody, and they take care of the siblings and the parents and the extended family and the animals. And I'll tell you, for me, and so we have a hider here. I just hid. I'm going to be the one that just is really good. I'm going to be the good kid, right? I'm going to make sure that I'm super good. And, you know, then that shows up later sometimes as I'm not going to really make a lot of trying because I don't want to fail, because I have to be good, because everything I do has to be good. Yeah. For me, I'll just share that as a child, I came in like within just a few weeks, I was having strep throats and all of this. I had horrible strep infections all the way through my childhood until I left home. And then I remember even being early 20s, maybe 20, 21, and coming home and for my brother's wedding and getting horrible strep throat and the fever and the whole thing. Like I had my entire life, every single Christmas, every single Thanksgiving, every single birthday. That was my go-to, because in those holidays and stuff, it meant that my mom and my dad were together, and there was going to be a lot of fighting and a lot of rage and a lot of turmoil. And I was just really working hard, and it made me very sick. And I don't get sick and don't get sick anymore. That's not a thing. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Anybody else seeing themselves in some interesting thing, right? Emotional transmuter, the therapist. Okay. So let's talk about this as we go into this number 2. Let's talk about thought forms, emotions, and resonant frequencies here. So I love this. This image, which shows the toroidal field of the human body, and in that, it really shows that energy coming in and going out, coming in and going out, coming in and going out. So I want to talk about thought forms and what thought forms are. And so thought forms is basically mental energy in motion, moving out. So when someone has a thought, there is energy there. There is a frequency that is there, and it goes out, it leaves out into the world. It shoots itself out, and it basically goes out. And it has more power when it has an emotional charge, right? So you know that if you are feeling really strongly emotionally, you can say something to someone, even if it's not, you don't say it in the way that, you're not yelling, you're not whatever, but the emotion underneath of it is so strong. The person is like, oh, okay. Like you might be really quiet. You might think that you're hiding what you're thinking or what you're feeling, but it has a direct impact. Or maybe you experience that from someone else. They're saying something and you're like, oh my gosh, a feeling underneath what you're saying, even if it's not what you say you're saying, like you're not saying what you say you're saying, but there it is. I can feel it so strongly, right? So what happens is that these energies go out. They go out into the world and then they come back. And what's happening is as they go out, like attracts like. So basically they're going out to find similar frequencies to resonate with, because they want to, they have a life in a way, and their life is supported by resonation, by picking up more energy to become stronger, to feed on like energy, to create more life force within themselves, because everything wants to live and grow and to know itself more. It wants to be more. So if someone has a really strong, let's say they're angry and they put out anger, and it comes in contact with anger in someone else. And that anger could be expressed, but it also could be a very repressed and held anger. And basically, just like a tuning fork. So if you have two tuning forks and you hit one tuning fork and the other one is just sitting there, but you bring them close together, the one that you didn't hit will start to vibrate with the same as the other tuning fork. So just by being close to each other, they start to vibrate together and resonate together. And that is what's happening. This is so important to understand, you guys. So if that emotion, if that energy, repressed emotion, if that energy was not there, there would be no resonance for it. So if I'm not dealing with anger. I'm expressed, I'm creative, I've moved all the energy out of myself. I'm not in that frequency. I haven't repressed it. It's not stuck in me. I'm not using it to eat myself away with depression. Then when someone else is coming at me with that energy, basically, I can see it, feel it, track it, know what it is. Oh, yes, I can recognize that energy. And it can be used for information. It can be used for healing. It can be used to to be safe, to go, oh, I can feel that. I'm crossing the street. Oh, I can feel that. Wow, let me be present with you. You're in a lot of pain right now. But it's not triggering my pain. It's not triggering my shit. So I can just be with it. I can be with all of it. I can totally be present with what you are experiencing, and it doesn't have anything to do with me because I'm not resonating with that frequency. Are you guys getting this? This means that we can take in this information. We can track it. We can know it. We can use it for healing work. We can use it and we can let it pass by. And then it's not triggering and it's not exhausting because it's not resonating with us. It's just going right past. It's moving through. And I'll tell you, I had a client session about 2 weeks ago with someone who's been working with me for quite a while. And she's basically said this exact thing. And we hadn't talked about it that much really recently or anything, but she basically said, yeah, I used to be so triggered by all of this stuff. And now I can feel that they're having an experience and I know that it's there. And then it just kind of passes by, right? I'm not holding on to. Right? So Ashtani is saying, you just explained what I've been living as of late. And it feels so good to recognize the energies and not to be pulled into it. Exactly. That's what we want. We want to go, oh yeah, I'm feeling the thing. And it's just kind of moving through. I know it's there and it's not mine. So I don't have to process it. I don't have to take care of it. I don't have to do anything because what's happening is that this stuff that's coming at us, if it's triggering us, it is telling us that there's something in us that needs to be looked at. It is telling us that we are repressing, we are holding on to stuff, we have not moved through things. We need to do something for ourselves, and it is there as service. So all of these things that are coming into our lives, these people that are shitty and toxic, the stuff that's happening around us is there to train us as it's signaling, oh, no, you're still holding on. You're still triggered. You still got some of this stuff, right? This is still your frequency that you need to be working with. You have something going on. Why don't you pay attention? And instead, we're not. We're blaming other people and trying to protect ourselves from feeling the thing that is going to help us shift, change, and become more spiritually advanced. Just fucking boom on that shit, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm running out of time. There's still so much left to do. I'm still in misconception too. Okay, let's move on. So let's look at, we looked at that on the person level. This is the global level. So as a society, this is going on everywhere. And there is a lot of really dense stuff that's being processed on this planet. And we are part of that. So if we're not doing our own work, if we're not taking care of ourselves in the right way, then we're going to be taken the fuck out because this is happening on a global level. There are, so collective thought forms are called egregores. Great word. And so those have even more energy, right? Because it's the mob mentality. It's the, you know, when people get together and they're all the same thing, can be very positive. A group of people gets together and meditates or prays for something, prays for water, and there's change. You can see that there's change. It can be tracked molecularly. Same thing if people get together to hate, if people get together in fear, stuff starts happening. Dangerous things start happening. So, you know, this stuff's showing up for us where we get to, you know, this is exciting, right? We get to do our work here. You know, society is in the process of purification. It is purging karmic debts, lots of intense energy. So if you don't learn how to deal with it, you're going to be taken out with it by it. And you're probably being called to do a lot of work for the collective right now, or you wouldn't be on this call. Right? I'm just going to call you out for that one. Okay. Whoosh. So let's talk about spiritual awakening, energetic activations, soul callings. Oh my gosh, you guys. We're going to go over on this webinar. Sorry, this is the deal. I did a really good job on the last one. It was only an hour. So when we start out on our spiritual path and through our spiritual awakening, it is definitely going to make us more sensitive. It's part of our path for this to happen. If we keep shutting it down and trying not to feel, did you guys not get the new slide? There it is. So weird. I don't know what's going on with the slides today. No, is it still Mercury retrograde? Well, let's blame it on that. We can always blame planets. All right. So, you know, if we keep shutting down, trying not to feel, which is what a lot of us are doing, you know, we will not be on the right path, right? We won't be able to hear and fulfill our soul's calling. And, you know, I've seen it so many times over again, that when you're not doing that, illness, all kinds of weird pain, strange things start happening. The system is actively trying to purify itself. And as these things are coming up to be moved through, they also make you feel more triggered, more overwhelmed, more sensitive. This is part of the deal, you guys. Sorry to say. So I love this cat. You guys see a cat, right? So did you okay, misconception number 2, that's super helpful, right? To start thinking about it in that way. And I just want you to think as you walk through your day about that and what's going on out there on the real level. So here we go. Let me know, make sure that I'm on misconception number 3 with the cat. I can think, affirm, talk, or logic my way through this. You think? No, sorry. The cat's like, no. So this is a really great way to just stay stuck. When we think we're doing the work, we're not really getting to the deeper layers. We're not learning the more effective tools. You know, you can think about these things I'm teaching you logically, but until you really get in and do the work, it doesn't really matter, you know? So what is the better way? Anybody got an idea? Well, you know, this is what I figured out, is that there is a proven method of specific movements, breath, sound, inner focus, introspection, releasing old stuck energies and emotions while focusing on higher spiritual cultivation, right? Like that's the essence for me. Movement, breath, sound, inner focus, introspection, release the old stuck energies and emotions, and focus on higher spiritual cultivation. Yeah. And, you know, I studied a lot of modalities and energy practices and processes. And what I've been finding for myself is that, you know, Chinese energetic medicine, Qigong, healthy emotional processing, inner work and focus, like these are ways towards lasting changes and transformations. And I've tried a lot of stuff. I've been doing practices and all kinds of things for a really long time. And, so, you know, why does this stuff work, right? Why do we can't just think our way through it. We have to move it through our bodies. We have to move it through us, through our bioform. Because, you know, it's tried and trusted for thousands of years. Like there are these tools and techniques and that we we have to start to build out a consistent daily practice to deal with everything that's going on out there. Like we can't just, go to a practitioner and be like, okay, clean me up. And then, next month, try to come back. It's like that consistent piece around everything. And, this is the most powerful path that I've taken, is it has to be embodied. It has to be with working the energy, not just understanding the concepts, but working the energy. And what I've come to really appreciate is the Chinese medical system of awareness of emotional repression, stagnation, and illness. I think this is invaluable to empaths, because we have to start looking not just at the emotions that we're putting out, but the stuff that we've really hidden, the things that are repressed within us. And especially as healers and spiritual practitioners, a lot of times we don't want to be with the dark parts of ourselves. We don't want to be with the stuff that's uncomfortable. We don't want to be with the pieces that are painful. We would rather kind of whitewash the whole thing and just be within the light. And what the deeper understanding is when you start to look at, like in the Chinese medical system, that every cancer, every illness has an emotional component. Everything that comes in that is causing disease and illness has an emotional component. It has an emotional reality or trauma, something that's come in that is being held within the field that is then coming down and infiltrating the body and the organs and causing illness and disease. And I just see so many people who are really super sensitive who end up getting really sick because they're taking on so much and letting too much stuff in. So, I'm just going to give this to you guys that, I've brought these teachings together to clear out what doesn't belong and align with a new life of peace and trust and wisdom. So is it okay if you guys, I share with you what I've been working on and what I'm offering you guys now? Yeah, are you okay? Are you okay with that? Okay, great. Okay, so what I've been working on is 5 elements for empaths. And this has been brewing within me for quite a while. I've been excited about this for a while. And I'm creating it right now. And this course is really important to me because, I've been there. I know what it's like to feel too much to the point of not being able to handle things. And I know that there's a path forward. And I'm not willing to sit on the fence and watch a bunch of amazing people not get this stuff. So the tools are actually pretty simple, and the system's in complete awareness of how emotions and energy are related and how to work with them and become this empowered present empath that we want to be. This is like ancient technology for modern sensitivity. And the real deal is that I'm here to train and empower all the magic people and empaths and healers and those on the big missions. And we all need more tools and we all need more support. And so this is what I'm here to offer you, because remember, you're here because you are sensitive and sometimes overwhelmed and tired maybe of trying to figure it all out and trying to track everything. And you're here to serve in a really powerful way, right? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and I love this little dog. He's so cute. All right. So I really hope that you can join me for 5 elements for empaths and get ready to shift. I don't know why the slide is so dark. It's not dark on my end. Oh, you don't see the dog. Really? I don't understand what's going on with my slides. You didn't see a dog? It's like if I change them on my end, there's the dog. Do you see the dog? Oh, there's the dog. He's kind of sad. Okay, so here's the course. Here's what we're going to do. We're shifting from worry and grief and anger, from lack of drive and overwhelm and anxiety, to trust, devotion, creativity, calm focus, and peace and joy. And this is where we're working on in this program. And super excited, this year, it's like make a big change, take control of your gifts, become this empowered empath that I know that you are. And here's what you're going to get. So you're going to be led into all of the trickiest areas of your inner world in a way you can relate to and embrace and enjoy. and get out of the story, get out of the head, get out of all of this stuff from the past, and this is why I am the way that I am, and just get into your body and start to move this energy. And increase the emotional and energetic intelligence and find a path towards a deeper state of trust and peace and presence in your life, right? That sounds amazing, doesn't it? All right, so in the program, we're going to be mastering multiple techniques for clearing energy quickly and developing a stronger relationship with your authentic self, like before all the bullshit, right? The true spiritually aligned being that you truly are. You're going to have a really great understanding and relationship to Chinese energetic medicine, to the 5 elements, to Qigong, and your personal practice. We're going to be working with emotional alchemy and different practices. And I'll tell you, I've now been filming the practice videos and building out the teaching videos and the teaching slides and everything. And it's really good, you guys. I'm so proud of this work. And the practices I'm going to be taking you so that you're building a practice over the span of the course. And you're understanding the elements and their relationship to the different emotions and how to work with those. And you can use these tools for yourself for the rest of your life. And you can also use them because I'm breaking them down into simple little bite-sized pieces. And then I'm also building them into a larger practice. So you can do both, and you can take them bit by bit and go, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm going to just do this part. But it also gives you a lot of tools that you can give to your clients to support them. So we're going to do this in 8 weeks together. It's going to be online. There's going to be teaching videos. There's going to be multiple practice videos for each module. So that if you only have 5 minutes to do your practice, there's going to be a practice for you to do that day. If you want to drop in and do a 20-minute practice that day of the week, fucking do that 20-minute practice, right? So you can do something in the morning, you can do something in the evening, and you've got choices as to which practices you want to engage with each day. It's going to be so good. So you're building this complete personal practice along with in-the-moment tools that support you. So, oh, this is what's going on. I'm just going to pull that out of my bag. I'm going to go to it. And 5 minutes later, I'm going to feel better. And you're going to have lifetime access as long as the internet exists, and I do too. You can watch and review these at any time. You can go at your own pace. There's going to be bonus and study and meditation materials. I'm going to add extra things in. I always do. The workbook is fucking amazing. I tell you, we're going to have meridian charts. We're going to have inquiry pages where you can answer a bunch of journaling questions about yourself, your emotions, your energy, all of these things. You're going to have, what else is in the workbook? There's going to be just a lot of really cool stuff so that you're going to understand the elements, the elemental nature. So you're going to get a good Chinese medical perspective of all kinds of things. There's going to be a Facebook group. I'm going to be in the Facebook group. It's not just going to be like my assistant is handling all your questions. And we're going to do 3 group coaching calls. And I always offer people discounts on my services if they're in a program with me. So I'm just going to break it down super quick. We're way over on time. So module 1 is going to be the foundation, 5-element theory, understanding Qigong. You're going to get a download on Qigong and how to do it well. You're going to understand repressed emotions, stagnant energies, and their relationship to overwhelm and illness. And you're going to understand the processes of purging and tonifying. And you're going to have a daily practice to move energy, clear emotions, and create more ease and balance. And that daily practice in module 1, I've been editing it. It's about 20-25 minutes long. It's really good. And then we're going to move through the 5 elements. So every week we're going to go into a new element. We're going to move into the metal element, and you're going to understand it's grief, shame, sadness, clearing those and cultivating integrity and devotion and courage, building the protective energy field from the inside out. And in all of these modules, you're going to understand the Chinese perspective, the energetic anatomy, the meridians. You're going to get the techniques. You're going to have tools. You're going to understand the organ systems that are connected, the colors, the sounds, all kinds of things, like all of the different correspondences, so that you can start to see them and track them in nature and understand that the pathway of the 5 elements, this is the pathway of manifestation into physical form. So as we study them, as we embody them, as we cultivate our awareness of them, we are slowly rising in toward the Tao, towards the infinite, towards the all that there is, towards source. We are winding our way home through understanding what we are made of. So this is the lungs and the large intestine. I'm going to flip through these really quick. But so we're working metal, and then into water for the winter, and working with fear and lack of drive and lack of focus. And we're cultivating wisdom and focused calm. And we're understanding the kidneys and the bladder and the adrenal system. We're going to go into all of that, and working with these different animals. We're going to be working with Taoist mythology and understanding how we can start to work with this very, very interesting, intricate system of knowledge. And then we're going to move into the springtime and growing and growth, and the green dragon and wood element of anger and frustration and also depression. And we're going to be cultivating kindness and love and creativity. And you're going to understand the liver and the gallbladder and everything that's corresponding to these energies here. Next, we'll be moving into the summer, into fire, working with this red phoenix, and really moving anxiety, mania, overwhelm, and cultivating peace, joy, and love, working with the heart and the small intestine. And then we're going to move into the last element, which is the earth, coming to center and releasing all of this worry and doubt and rumination and ruminating thoughts, and cultivating trust, surrender, and working with the spleen and the stomach. And then we're going to bring it all together. And I'm building you out of practice with all of these elements in it. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. And we're going to be working with sound frequencies. We're going to be working with specific motions. It's going to be great. And then we're going to work with integration. I'm going to be giving you some more tools, some more emotional alchemy tools of how to move emotions in really quickly and to process things really quickly, both through your Qigong practice and then also through some other energetic alchemy tools that I have for you. And more support, right? So these are the most main misconceptions we today. I need to shield, protect, blame, stay away. There's nothing I can do about my sensitivities, and I can think, talk, and logic my way through this. And this is going to hit on all of these. We're going to answer all of these questions in a very embodied way. So remember, here's all the stuff you get, the 8 modules and the bonuses and the workbooks and the Facebook groups and the 3 sessions. And if you want to, you can do private sessions with me. I have an opportunity for you to do additional support at another rate, with a VIP rate. If you want to do also some private sessions with me during the context of this container and do some other healing work and more mentorship work. So here's the investment. Right now it's at $555. So, but if you join by Wednesday, the 24th, it's $515. And there is the, let's see, you can see all this stuff. I don't even know. VIP early bird is going to be $13.97. Usually it's $14.97. And I am, let's type in the amazingness here. And then let's see, so also bonuses, right? So the bonuses is that the first 5 of you who sign up, so probably during this thing right now, like if you sign up right now, I'm putting the link in the chat box. So if you are signing up right now, just say yes in the chat box. And go ahead and sign up, because the first 5 of you are going to get a private online session with me. And this is a full 90-minute session, and we can go into anything you want. Healing work, we can go into more Qigong study, we can go into mentorship, working on your healing business, we can, you know, whatever this is you want to work on in your first set, in your session with me, you'll have access to me. So say yes if it's you, if you're one of these 5 people. hit the link and go ahead and just sign up now. It's in the, it's to all panelists. You know, you guys are amazing. On my toes. Technology. I just sensed it myself. All right, so there's a link. And let's see. Oh, I have another bonus for you. So if you sign up now in the next 24 hours, you're also going to get my Energetic Mastery class, which is my portaling class. I alluded to that earlier. It is so good. It's actually one of the best things that I have out there. The practice in that is amazing and stellar and incredible. I think maybe Jessica, you might have done this one. You've done this class maybe. I think I sent it to you at some point. I can't remember that. If you have, let us know. But this is also going to be included in the program. So basically, you'll have an extra really great piece to start working with right away. So you'll get that immediately. You can start working with that this week because we're going to start next Sunday. We're starting in 1 week's time. So basically, if you sign up, you're going to get the first people, you're going to get a private online session with me for a $549 value. You're going to get the Energetic Mastery portaling for $249, and you'll get it all for $515. If you sign up now, if you sign up before the early bird's going to be done on Wednesday. So basically, you'll go to this site. You'll see the screen that looks like this, and you'll click on it. Now, I did not change the payment plan buttons today because of PayPal and all kinds of things. So if you want to do a payment plan for the $515 or whatever, send me a message. Send me a Facebook message, send me a email, whatever you need to do to get in touch with me, and just let me know, and I'll send you a link. I just hadn't done it yet for the new early bird price, which is only till Wednesday, because I was very busy setting up my back wall today. So if that's you, let me know. So, all right. So here's some doubts that might be coming up. And if you are joining, say yes on the thing so I can see that you're joining. And if you're not joining, I want to know why. Like, what the fuck? You know, why wouldn't you do this? It's going to be so good. So one reason might be is like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm like there yet, right? I don't know if I'm experienced enough, excuse me. Goodness. You know, I don't know if maybe it's going to be, you know, I don't know if I'm going to get it. I'm not really like a Qigong person, or I don't really understand Chinese medicine, or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so I get that. And what I'm going to be doing is breaking this down. So wherever you're at, like, I'm going to have people in this program who are acupuncturists who really understand Chinese medicine, but who don't have all of the emotional, the emotional stuff, and the Qigong part, right? And then I'll have other people who are, you know, have been doing Qigong, but don't really understand like the reason why they're doing Qigong. Okay, thanks, Emily. And so I'm going to say, when does the class start? So it all starts on the 28th. So there are modules each week, and there's 8 weeks of modules that will be released every weekend. And then you guys can either do them as we go, or you can take your time with them and do them at your own pace. They will be released every week, though. So they're going to be released, and then there's going to be a teaching video just like this, and then there's going to be the practice videos that are going to be there. And then we're going to also have live coaching calls. So we can be meeting together and going over the information, and you can understand and ask questions, and then you can ask any questions you want in the Facebook group. And then generally, I also am posting a lot and adding additional information and additional things into the Facebook group too, because I'm usually pretty active there. So even if you feel like you don't maybe have the time, what I'm doing is I'm making this so that there's the teaching video you're watching every week, and there's 2 at the beginning. And then there's the practice videos where, okay, I'm going to do a practice every day, and I'm going to commit to doing a practice every day, but I'm not going to make you do a practice that's more than 20 minutes long. So some of them can be 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and then some of them are up to 20 minutes, but that's pretty much the longest that there is until the very end. And then we're going to put them all together with a little bit of a longer practice to have a chance to incorporate a longer practice into your daily practice. But it's going to be like building up. So that's kind of where it is that like too hard or too much work. No, the workbook has sheets in it for you to be checking off. I did my practice today. This is what my experience around my practice was. And if you will commit to doing 20 minutes, to sectioning out half an hour a day to this work, you will see a difference. If you commit to, watching the video on Sunday and doing the practice during the week. And then also in the program, we don't have to necessarily watch the teaching video. We can start doing the practice videos and then watch the teaching video at some point during the week when you have time to do it. That's how I'm designing it. So because you actually get benefit from doing the practices, even if you aren't fully aware of all of the concepts yet. So I've broken it down so that it will be more easily digested for people. I know you're busy and you don't have a lot of time, but really having that daily practice and having these 8 weeks, what we're going to do is we're going to set you up for success to continue to have that daily practice. Because I tell you, the days when I do my daily practice, I am more centered, grounded, focused, and good in the world. The days I don't, I'm kind of a shit. So I'm like reactive and not okay and take things really personally. So I'm just letting you in on my reality is that my practice is the thing. Now, you might not want to do this program because you might have to change, and that is true. There will be parts of you that will come up that we will be dealing with, that we will be processing together, and that will change within you. And actually, that's going to be fucking amazing and a really good thing. So I got you. So remember, you're going to get all this stuff, the course, the teachings, the videos, the Bye Ben, the complete practice, the in the moment, quick tools, watch and review anytime. You're going to have access to this, all this bonus materials. You're going to have a workbook that you're going to be able to print up and work with for a long time. And also community support in the Facebook group and the group coaching calls, and also discounts on my other work and discounts on the Healish process, which will start in September. And remember, there's the bonus. So sign up now. Jump in there, get this session with me. This is going to help to really jumpstart you and get you going, and also get energetic mastery and get this understanding of the portaling and the way that you're processing energy, and start to change the way that you've been processing and transmuting energy within your body so that you can start to live differently. All right, so here it is. Thank you guys so much. You're amazing, and I really appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you being here. I've thrown in another link to the course, and I hope that you'll join me because I'm really excited about it. I've been working on this 10, 12 hours a day for the last month and a half, and it's a true labor of love, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you guys. If you have any other questions, anything else, let's see, any other questions? I know Kyle was saying earlier, I don't know if Kyle's still on here. Let's see if Kyle's even still on here. He had a question. Let's see, where's my peeps? Kyle, you're still on? Kyle's not even on here. I'll talk to Kyle later. I'll talk to Kyle later. Thank you all. Sorry I went over on time. And we're going to send out a copy of this this evening. So I will get right on that, or it'll be today for most of you. And much love, many blessings. I hope that you're well. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this was give you some things to think about. And if you want to rewatch the replay, I'll be sending that out shortly. And many blessings to you all. Bye.